Yeah, it's going to mean we've got some very interesting battles unfolding in the second round, but we are gearing up for Heat 5 here. Sally Fitzgibbons, who has taken this contest down 2 times in the past. She's up against Keely Andrew and Pauline Ardot. Pauline coming off the back of an amateur world title win and helping Team France become world champions there. But now she has to get her game plan together at the championship to a level, because she's up against a regular title threat. Sally Fitzgibbons getting off to a quick start here.
Yeah, Sally Fitzgibbons would feel so comfortable in the lineup. We mentioned those 2 wins to her name, but also she's done countless trips to Tabarua. Let's have a look at her first effort in this heat. Opting for that longer equipment to really draw out her turns. You can see that Sally's been doing a lot of work on her technique and her style in the off-season. Tack sharp.
So tricky conditions here on day 1. The first heat of the day, there was maybe even a little bit more sort of lumps and bumps out there on the surface of the water.
Think about these things when you go into a competitive situation. She can take some confidence out of that one over Sally.
Bit of movement here at the moment. Keely is up and looking to bank a big number here, threading a couple of decent turns together outside. Fitzgibbons is up once again. Kick this heat off at a 6.77. Goes searching for a backup, just whipping that board vertically there. Just banking. Those first couple of days of the event window here, Sally just finding some hill to work with here on Tabarua. There isn't much, but she was doing some soft sand runs and whatnot yesterday.
With a weight, with coral heads on her shoulders.
Yep. Waiting on something a little stronger. Pauline Ardot yet to put a score on the board.
Let's see Keely's approach on this medium-sized wave. A lot of froth on that face. And then Sally Fitzgibbons, her backhand is like a hot knife through butter. You can see her negotiating every section. She's very, just thinks about where she's going to place her turns on this wave.
And well rewarded for that effort, a 7.67. Mixing things up on the backhand, not always an easy thing to do.
You've got to travel with a range of boards when you come over here. Just expect the kind of conditions that can get thrown at you.
Yeah, it's one of those days. That's why we love surfing, because we have to deal with these days, and then when you get the good days, it's all worthwhile.
And when you get the wins, it doesn't matter what the surf's like, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's all good. We'll take it.
Well done.
Thank you, Barton. And back out into the lineup we go with Pauline on one of her better waves, rattling off a number of turns. 22.5 minutes to go. And really, it's tricky for these competitors. They want to commit, but if you overcommit and you hit one of those lumps, it's easy to skip a fin and fall flat on your face. So some adjustments having to be made as we see Pauline on the replay.
Yeah, you can see, that wind that Steph was talking about and those ribs up the face. You've really got to get in front of it and not miss a beat out here. Otherwise, you can be left wanting more. See this aerial shot, those ribs, the wonk. You've got so many things to negotiate, so it's so important to have that timing down and just be negotiating it all the time. You've really got to just learn on the fly on this wave. Can't over-dominate it.
Pauline has a lot of work to do to turn around her year. Hasn't had a heat win yet, the only surfer on the championship tour.
But I'm excited because I've been watching the contest the last few years and the waves look amazing. And it's, I'm pretty excited.
Meanwhile, live action out in the lineup, Sally Fitzgibbons. 3 opportunities to deliver big turns to the lip, and she capitalised on every single one of them.
Yeah, that last turn was so well read from Sally. See her posture, paddling back out, the fitness, the training. She just holds herself with that little bit of confidence. She knows that she's put in all the hard work. It's good to see, the form that the surfers are taking, just that athletic approach where they leave nothing to chance. Let's have another look. Sally just stroking into this another smaller wave, but the work that she does, see the way that she just moves that back leg to gain that speed and keeps that front foot pivoted so that she can get loose on the tail and control the landing.
Always maintains such a strong average heat score total throughout each season. Such a consistent performer.
Yeah, consistency is just... Sally can just bring that into every event and lean on that with confidence. I think that's why last year was a little bit of a shock for her. Just being, maybe feeling a bit like she's in over her head, and looking at her other competitors who we've seen so much improvement over the last few years, and that's really exponential, the way that everyone's improved their surfing and worked on.
Well, here we go. Keely Andrew trying to stay on pace. Needs a score in the 6-point range. It's a break combination. And this wave just a little sleepy at this stage. Keely surfing reasonably well, but just not able to put those turns together. And that one's probably going to fall short. Just on 16.5 minutes remaining here. Bonnie joined by Rosie Hodge. And Rosie, we've really enjoyed Sal's tenacity at the championship tour level. She takes those losses very well. But you always get to see the emotion, just how much she puts into it. We've seen her get to that runner-up place in those world title races 3 times in the past.
And just keeping it balanced for herself to keep herself invigorated. Let's just get another look at the performance of Sally Fitzgibbons so far in this round 1. I love the fact that she's able to throw that board up vertically. That's really just a point of difference from the carving maneuver. Just seamless approach too. There's nothing in between, and the 833 started off as a smaller wave, but she gains a lot of speed down the line. Talk about displacing water. Sally's able to do that and turn on a dime. That last turn was really something that caught the judges' attention.
8.5 minutes to go, and all the rhythm with Fitzgibbons, but she's going to pull back on this one because Keely Andrew has priority. Keely driving up into this section, but just mistimes it, gets knocked off. It's going to be a massive fight back from either Keely or Pauline to turn this heat around with just over 8 minutes to go.
Definitely, we've seen some awkward falls go down throughout this competition. It seems like the wave can just grab your rail and rip the board right from underneath you. Wave selection, we've heard it a couple times, is just so crucial out here. Let's have another look at what goes wrong for Keely. You can see that's where she kind of loses the tempo there. As soon as you put on the back foot out here, you're pretty much going to be behind it.
Well, it feels like Keely and Pauline are still trying to find their place in this lineup, still trying to figure it out, whereas Sally, as we see now, Pauline trying to turn things up just a little bit. Just a couple of turns, nothing major. 6.5 minutes to go. Sally has a bit of a look at this one. Starts working that board for speed. Lets go of a decent first turn. Trying to get rid of a 7.67, sorry. And again, just solid on the finish. Mistake-free surfing. And turning what was a pretty average wall into probably another good number.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. The way that Sally just can approach this wave and turn something that doesn't look that fantastic on the takeoff, just drives down the line, finds that speed and connects all the dots all the way through. That's what keeps it exciting. Let's have another look at what she does here. You see her gathering that speed and then just winds up into it. So that's just a trademark Sally Fitzgibbons backhand turn right there, and just there's nothing in between. She just holds that rail, stays low, and then really just keeps that coil until she's in the lip, so she's able to hold that momentum through every little turn.
Doesn't look like this last ride is going to go into Sally's top two, but it will be another decent score. And if Sally took her top two rides not figuring into this heat at the moment, so a 6.7 and a 6.33, she'd still be well out in front of her rivals. On a bit of a tear out here at the moment. So good to be back here in Fiji. Rosie, you've enjoyed a number of trips here to Tavarua in years gone by. You've stayed up in the treehouse.
Yeah, a couple weeks in Fiji. Doesn't get old.
A lot of islands here you can check out as well. Here we go. Sally Fitz up once again. On a tear at the moment, just looking so confident out there, just dominating this lineup. It should be another good score. Trying to get rid of a 7.67. Pauline up briefly. That wave shuts down. She kicks out. Doesn't look like anyone's going to turn this one around just on 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Pauline and Keely both comboed. Looking for a two-wave total of 16.01.
Wow, that's a tough place to be with just over 2 minutes remaining.
Pauline up once again. At this point in the heat, Rosie, you know, it was inevitable. You had a long CT career that you got yourself in some situations like this where someone went on a tear. Were you concerned about trying to get the win back, or were you just wanting to at least lay down one manoeuvre that sort of got your confidence back and just made you feel like you were in touch with this lineup?
That she had with her brothers a few years ago, had the ruptured eardrum, so she hasn't, you know, she's a lot of sacrifices out here, but doing so well in the contest situation.
Well, Courtney Conlog came back from her first round effort.
Wow.
With a bit of bark missing.
Yep.
Lost some skin off a leg, off a foot. And it's always the way on the women's side and the men's side. If you get a good wave, more often than not, you're going to wear a set on the head or a wave on the inside.
Yeah.
And really, it's just the price you have to pay.
The consequences are real.
Sally Fitzgibbons, a very composed performance. 16 points in total. Pauline and Keely will have to fight their way out of the second round.